Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Sounds well. Thank you, Muneer, and welcoming Muneer again. So you'll have to contend with lots of Muneer, one young man sitting there also. Uh, every year for the last 2 decades, Pakistanis go through a ritual in the month of December. Somewhere along early December, mid-December, the smog starts taking over Lahore. And it disrupts travel. And now this year, it became a serious health hazard also, as the schools are also shut down. So there's a lot of talk about environment, clean environment that we need. And by the time we come around February, late February, early March, we forget about that, and business as usual starts in Pakistan. But this time around, I think my friend Hamid Haroon and his very hardworking team said, guys, we're not going to let you forget about climate challenges. And that's why we are gathered here. And thank you very much for that, Tom. And the challenges are huge. It's not just the yearly disruption of travel and some health hazard where the cough syrup, of course, is sold much more. We've seen the impact of climate change in 2022. The flood, and now globally it is accepted that what happened in 2022 in Pakistan through the massive floods was direct result of climate change. And just 1 year and few months, Pakistan, a poor country like Pakistan, lost about $12.5 billion. That's staggering for a country which is struggling to reach $2,000 per capita income. And when you go deeper into it and read about the potential, I think it was COP23 report, I don't know which one, which said that Pakistan is 8th most vulnerable country on the planet as far as the climate change and its ramifications are concerned. 8th out of 190 plus countries, 8th. And we make a ritual of monthly December hue and cry and then forget about it. So once again, what Dawn is saying is, it reminds me of a sheikh, Utho wagarna hoga nahi hashr fir kabhi, daudo zamana chal qayamat ki chal gaya. So it's a wake-up call for us to do something. It's good to hear that the government is already doing and is conscious about that, and it's one of the 5 pillars of Udan. But there's a lot of work to be done. And just to give you numbers, I think you also mentioned that between 2023 and 2030, Pakistan, the challenge, to address this challenge, we need something like $348 billion. And if we do not address this aspect now, by 2050, Pakistan would have lost 18 to 20% of its GDP. Again, reminding a country which is struggling to reach 2,000. In fact, we are around $1,600 per capita income. If we don't do anything, and we've already seen what the flood has done, we will lose 18 to 20% of our GDP. So after that, there should be absolutely no discussion whatsoever, and sit down and see how we can address this. Now, as far as the government is concerned, they're doing their own bit. Let me tell you, there is some good news from the private sector as well. I've been a banker all my life, and of course, from the business point of view, both SECP and State Bank of Pakistan have come up with regulations. At State Bank in 2017, they came out with the green lending guidelines, and they watch it closely. They insist that we should be working on that. And the good news is the first green bond in Pakistan, which is going to be hopefully listed on the stock exchange, will be done by Infrazamin. Infrazamin, I'm lucky to be, in fact, privileged to be part of their board of directors. They did the first gender bond, which was listed, and now they will do a green bond. We are doing a summit, banking summit, the first banking summit, 24th and 25th of this month. And in addition to the traditional sessions about digitalization, SME, agri-financing, we are also doing a session on ESG, and where we are calling speakers from outside world also. So there is consciousness also. And I would urge you, if you can lay your hands on, the 2024 impact report of Habib Bank, absolute world-class document. And it just shows that the private sector is becoming aware of this challenge, and the private sector is moving ahead. And I'm sure many other, which I don't know at the moment. Amir Piracha is going to be the last speaker of this session, of the next session after that. And I'm sure he has to say what Unilever is doing there. So private sector is there. Somehow the dialogue between the government and private sector is not as intense as we would like to be. And again, I would like to thank Dawn for initiating this. And hopefully from now on, we are not going to forget December and move forward. You made that show. So I'm not going to take too much time. We have an absolutely outstanding panel in session 1 and session 2. They are experts in their fields. I'm not going to be too much waste of time between them and me. Let's listen to them and let's take it forward. And at the end, Dawood and I will try to sum up how we can move forward. Thank you very much again, Dawn, for making it.